4 more days till I get to go to work. And I'm pretty excited. My stomach's still kind of tossing and turning after the treatment. I recorded my highest blood pressure I've had in, God, I don't know, probably about 6 months. And I'm feeling a lot better. I just can't wait to get out working. I know it's going to be another short term. I don't think this medication's going to keep me alive. I think it's just going to keep me going. And my whole plan for this is today at 5:30, I'm going to go see a vehicle. And so I'm going to get my hands on another vehicle and I'm going to drive to another province after I'm done working for a bit. And once I get sick enough and this COVID shit is over, I can go into another province and go into another hospital and just hope and fucking pray that if I'm far enough away from the doctors here, that I will actually get treatment and maybe I'll live. Now, I think this is a fantasy, and I think I've been thinking about this really way too much because I've been dreaming weird dreams. Like last night I had this dream that basically that the parasites were too big and the medicine's not killing them, so I had to have this surgery. And I found this network of foreign workers that were like working at like McDonald's and stuff, because they should have been like nurses and doctors and surgeons, but they can't work yet, right? So they're like taxi drivers and shit. And so I met this network of people and I donated my ultrasound machine to. And in turn, they gave me this surgery. And when they put the packaging on, they told me to go to another province, to take a flight to another province, and they paid for the flight, and that I was supposed to see a follow-up doctor at this different place. But it turned out they packed the fucking packing with drugs, and I ended up getting stopped at the airport. And yeah, everything went to shit. So I wasn't allowed to leave because when I walked through the machine, it showed that I had parasites, so I couldn't leave. And then I had drugs on me. So it was a double whammy. And yeah, so my dream kept going all the way through jail and then court. And then just saying straight up, like, 5 years they've been telling me I'm delusional about this. And then I walk through a screen, one of the x-ray scanners, and they tell me I can't travel because I have these. Yeah, so it was kind of just one of those nights. Yeah, mentally I'm ready to get out, I'm ready to start working, I'm ready to move on, and it's really frustrating having the words on the screen. And yesterday I waited like all day for my doctor to phone, and she was supposed to phone me, and she never did. No phone call saying that she wouldn't be able to make the appointment or anything, just nothing, right? And so it really frustrates me because I don't talk freely out in public, right? And so I stayed home waiting for this fucking phone call. And I'm trying to get into shape, and I'm going for these walks and trying to get my lungs back up to, and my leg strength back up to be able to stand there for 12 hours holding a fucking pole. And so, yeah, trying to get my hydration levels back up, and it's so frustrating. I got a doctor right down the fucking street that's really arrogant. And this morning I checked on my health account, and I noticed since the last time I checked, like when I got my COVID, my swab was sent for secondary testing, but then was canceled. And it showed that on my records, and now all of a sudden that's disappeared. So I really find it interesting that that just disappeared off my record. It's proof. I have it on video, like one shot. Maybe I'll fucking edit it Yeah, I'll put it in with my, I did a blood pressure video, and I was going to do a heart monitor video, but what ended up happening is the heart monitor took too long, and I'm just going to wait on that. I'm going to concentrate more on putting the money towards a vehicle, because the heart monitor is going to cost the amount of a vehicle. And so I got a refund, so I got a really good down payment for a vehicle, able to save up some money. So I'm hopefully going back to work with a vehicle soon. The first bit of work will be on the bus, which will totally suck, but I'll get her done. And yeah. So it's just so weird, like, how complicated my life is the minute I walk through the doctor's door, the minute it has anything to do with doctors or going to those offices or government anything. But yet, privately in my own private life, and the person I am working, and it's so frustrating because it's so two different people, right? So as soon as I walk into a doctor's office or anything, I get an attitude, and I know it, and I see it now, and I recognize it. And I see that attitude because I've been fucked over so many times by doctors and the words on the screen. And the frustration with walking in and the nurses looking at you like you're a piece of shit. And knowing that, no, you have this other life, and actually this is what happened, but I'm not going to tell you that because it's going to destroy your existence, because you're going to think I'm fucking delusional, be rude to me, and then all of a sudden find out I was telling the truth and go and fucking kill yourself or some stupid shit. Because that's the way it seems to go. Yeah. So it's like the way my life was 5 years ago and the way it is today, I'm not in abusive relationships. I'm not dealing with drug addicts, and I'm not dealing with bullshit. Going into doctor's offices, going in for abortions, and I'm not dealing with that anymore. Partially because they sterilized me, but yeah, I know what I am, and I know what I survived, and I know the truth, and I think a lot of that has helped me be the person that I am today on the outside, because inside with the doctors and the lies and the consistency of trying to fuck me over constantly, and it's just like, I'm so tired of it. And it's just gotten to the point where it's like, get off your high horse, people. Let me move on with my life. Like, I think of Dr. Hergy. He asked me, when I got back, he asked me, when do I think I'll be ready to talk about the babies? And I was in tears at that time, and I was angry, and I was fucking yelling. And I think now, I can talk about it now without the anger, without breaking down. And I think a lot of that has to do with me losing my memory and remembering a lot of this shit back, and realizing how much I did fight and how hard it was to put food on the table for 3 boys while I was being drugged and raped. And I wake up and feed these children and get them to school and get off to work and get off one job to take them home from school, to feed them, to hope to God Darcy actually comes home after work to the kids, and he never did. So I went to my second job with Darcy nowhere around, and these 3 boys home alone at night to fend for themselves. So a lot of shit went down, and then I'm thinking about, like, when I was getting drugged and raped, if the boys used to always wake up in the middle of the night. So what was their father telling them when I was lying there getting fucking raped by another man? But I'm unconscious, so I'm not fighting it. So what's Darcy saying to the boys? So it was so hard for me to be able to have any authority over the boys. But yet I loved them so much and I wanted so much for them. And I fought so hard for them. And it got to the point where the boys just started treating me like shit, and it was so hard. So fucking hard not to tell the boys the reality of the situation and the truth behind the doctors and why I'm in the hospital. And they were just children, and I didn't think that they would ever comprehend it, and their behavior acting out. And I think about everything that I went through, and I still fought for those boys that weren't mine. And I think what I could have done with my own children if I wasn't drugged, if I never met Darcy, if my mother never brought me drugs while I was working, mixing it in with my food, telling ministry I was out partying all night, that she had the kids. Yeah, because she was babysitting them while I was at work. And then I get fucking called in by the ministry and drug tested, and it comes out positive. When I never fucking touched drugs. I fucking hate drugs. There's just so much going on in my head. And these are like way before Darcy. And I think about when I was doing security way back then, and the fact that I would have been pregnant and not knowing it. Once again, with Dr. Almas. You know, I was thinking about this morning how Darcy's brother raped me when we were still back in Terrace. And I got a positive pregnancy test. And I took it into Dr. Almas, and she told me it was a hormone imbalance and that I wasn't pregnant. And she booked me for a procedure. And I thought I was getting cancer. And she sent me home. And Darcy drugged me. And I was told that I flushed a baby down the toilet. And I don't believe I did. I don't remember. I don't remember being in the pain. I don't remember going to the toilet. I don't remember thinking that I was taking a shit or thinking that a tampon fell out of me. That was one of the babies that just disappeared. I don't know. There's just so many of them. And then I need to get back to work and stop focusing on the past, because there's nothing I can do about it. And I think that if I ever had the opportunity that one of my children wanted to meet me, I think I want them to meet the real me and not the beaten. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at today. This has been a pretty long rambling video, but I just think of everything I've gone through and how fucking strong I am. But I don't feel like it, you know? I think about the fact that I've been left to die and the sacrifices that were made for this study. My children, police, doctors, nurses, like so many lives destroyed over this goddamn study. And the lies on the screen and what they've led to. I'll protect the doctors from the reality of the truth. I was in the study. I got drugged and raped. I went to the doctors and I told them that. They told me I was delusional. This happened over and over again. I went to Dr. Badawi thinking I was getting an abortion, to be thrown downstairs, to be drugged, to wake up in a hospital being told that, well, hearing the nurses saying that I flushed the baby down the toilet, There's not a fucking chance. I remember that day I got off that fucking toilet. He threw me down the stairs. My water broke. He put me on the toilet and I didn't drink the drink that he gave me. And I walked over to the couch and I lied down and I was still in my uniform. And I remember just lying there crying, and I fell asleep crying in pain. And then I woke up to Darcy waking me up saying I have to go to work. And when I stood up, my pants didn't fit me properly. They weren't put on properly. And I go to work and I come home. And Darcy's laughing at me. And he goes out and he fucks this other chick and gets all high. And has this big celebration. It's frustrating. And knowing that he's doing this to these babies, so I show up for the abortions. Because they don't believe me when I'm telling them that I'm getting drugged and raped. They're still believing that I'm just a drug addict whore. So fine, whatever, but fucking don't kill innocent babies because you guys want to believe lies on a screen. Like, what the fuck is up with that? Anyways, it's been long enough.